and welcome back to Crochet Along with Miss Carol from the Bloomingdale Public Library. Today we are going to be working on a fall hat to match the fall scarf that we made in the month of October. So if you haven't had a chance yet, take a look at the pattern for the fall scarf and work on that, or just go ahead and do the hat first. We're going to learn some new skills today. We're going to use another form of rib. Remember on our scarf we did a ribbed edge on the end of it. Well, we're going to do a ribbed band around our hat, but we're going to use a different type of stitch to make the ribbing, and it's going to be more giving more stretchy so that it will fit snugly around your ears and keep your ears warm in the winter. Our materials that we're going to use today, of course, I have my scissors, my yarn needle, my hook, and because I'm using a larger yarn than I have in the past, I'm using a 6.5 or a K hook today. And I'm using the same velvet yarn that we used last month on the scarf so that my hat and scarf will match. So let's get started. As I mentioned, we're going to work on our border first. So as usual, the first thing I want to do is make a slip stitch to get started. And I want to leave myself plenty of tail so that I have room to use my needle to weave that end in when I'm finished. I'm going to chain 7. It's just a short little chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook right here. And if you remember from last time, working with this fuzzy yarn makes it just a touch tricky on this foundation. I'm going to do 6 single crochet across for my foundation row. There we go, last one. And that last one always tends to be a little harder to get in there. Now I'm going to chain 1 so that I have room to turn. I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to go back the other way. I'm going to single crochet again, but this time I'm going to crochet through the back loop. So if you take a look at the tops of your crochet, you'll see that there are these little V's. There's a V here and a V here and another one here. There should be 6 of them because we have 6 stitches. I'm going to crochet into the one that's furthest away from me. That would be the back loop. If I were going to crochet in the front loop, I would do the one that was closest to me. But I want to crochet in the back loop, and I'm going to use single crochet again. So I'm not going to skip that first stitch because my turning chain in this case does not count as a stitch. So back loop, single crochet once, twice, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do a 1 chain, turn my work, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to single crochet in the back loop. Now because I've turned it, I'm on the opposite side. So I'm doing the opposite side of the one before, which is what's going to give it that ribbed look. but I'm still working in the loop that is the furthest away from me. This sometimes is abbreviated BLO, or back loop only. It doesn't take very long to get a row done because I just have those 6 stitches to do. So I chain 1, and again, single crochet in that back loop only. And what that does, and it's kind of hard to see on this fuzzier material, but it gives you another ribbed look. See, this is the top of each rib, and if you turn it over, I've got 1 rib on the other side. You want to continue doing that. Just single crochet across, back loop only, turn it, do it again. I did mine for 53 rows, the first 53 rows. What you want by the time you're done is you want that band to be able to go around your head with just a little bit of snugness around it. So you go ahead and work on that, and I'll work on mine here, and then we'll come back together for the next step. Okay, we're back. So your band should look like this. Has that ribbed pattern that if you look to the side, it goes kind of up and down. What we're going to do next is we're going to make a circle out of it by folding your band in half and putting the 2 ends together. Now, remember we talked about front and back loops when we first started talking about making the back loop only? We're going to work in the back loop of one side and the front loop of the other end to sew these 2 ends together, and we're going to use a slip stitch. Before we do that, I want to just say a little thing about the length. 53 is about the right length for my head, and that's kind of a standard adult size. If you need yours shorter, use fewer rows, or if you need it longer, you can add more rows. But you need to make sure that you have an odd number. So 53 or 55 or 45, that's what you want. Not an even number, 44 or 22. Then it's not going, the body of your hat, the stitches won't come out right if it's an even number. So make sure you have an odd number, but make it the right number that fits your head or the head of the person that you're making it for. Okay, so we're going to go back here to these back loop and front loop. I did do my, did I do my? I did not. I want to chain 1. Always remember that, chain 1. Now come around here and bring the 2 ends together. And I'm going to go through the back loop of the one closest to me and only the front loop of the side furthest away from me. I'm going to yarn over and pull that through, and then pull through. I'm just going to do a slip stitch here. I don't want the bulk of a whole of a single crochet. So through the back loop, through the front loop. Oh, come on, work with me here. There we go. Pull it through and pull it through. There's 2. Back loop, front loop, yarn over, pull it through, make that slip stitch. We've got 3, we're halfway there. Back loop, front loop, yarn over, pull through and through again, back loop, front loop. Now it's getting a little tricky seeing where I need to go. There we go. Yarn over, pull it through again, and then one more time, back loop. And this is the end one, so it might be a little, and then the front loop of that last one. Yarn over, pull through, and through again, and then I'm going to chain one so that I have room to turn. Now I have a full circle on my band that fits around my head just fine. Now, you can make a hat by working from the top down using the increase method that we used on our crochet critters and our crochet coasters. But today we're going to make our hat from the band or the bottom of the hat and working up towards the crown. So the first thing I need to do is do a foundation stitch all the way around this band. And I'm going to single crochet in the end of each row around. So I'm going right through the end with a single crochet all the way around. And you'll see that you'd have the one side of that ridge and then the other side and then the other side. One will just have one strand and one will have two strands. We're going to single crochet all the way around. And I'll meet you when we get to the other end. Okay, I have single crocheted all the way around the top of my band, and I've come back here to where I began. I'm going to join by doing a slip stitch into that first single crochet. I'm going to chain one and I'm going to turn my work. And then I'm going to turn that band so now it's right side out so that my join area is on the inside. We're going to turn it each round. So it'll go inside, you'll work on the inside and then you'll work on the outside back and forth until you get the body of your hat done. So I'm flipping my thing here. So we're going to, we single crocheted into the end of each row. Now we're going to work on that Suzette stitch. And we're going to do this for the next 13 rows, so up to row 14. If you want to make your hat longer so it comes down further on you across your ears, you can add rows. If you want to make it shorter, you can remove rows. And at this point, this number of rows, it doesn't matter whether it's odd or even. Just make sure it's the right length for you. So that the Suzette stitch, if you remember, we're going to single crochet in that next stitch right here, and then we're going to double crochet in the same stitch. You're going to skip a stitch and you're going to single crochet and double crochet in the same stitch. Skip a stitch, single crochet, and double crochet. This makes that texture like we had in our scarf, and this will match our scarf then. We're just going to remember that. So single crochet, double crochet in one stitch, and then skip the next stitch and do that same thing in the next one. We're going to work all the way around. If it helps you to know when you have gotten to the end of your round, you can put a stitch marker in that first stitch if you'd like. I leave my tail unwoven in, and it tells me when I've gotten around to the end of my row. So you go ahead and work around that row yourself, and I'll show you how to join and then how to turn again and start your Suzette stitches going back the other way. See you in a minute. Okay, so I've got around to the other end here, and I have one more stitch to do. And remember, I want to be able to start in the single crochet. So instead of doing the Suzette stitch where I single crochet and double crochet, I'm just going to do one single crochet in that last stitch. Then I'm going to join with a slip stitch to my first single crochet, give myself a single chain for my turning chain, and go back the other way, and then I have a single crochet to crochet in the first time. Right here, single crochet, and now I'll double crochet. And then I'm going to skip the double crochet and work in my single crochets. The same thing, single crochet, double crochet in the same stitch, skip that next double, work into the next single, all the way around. Should come out just right so that I do a single crochet in that last stitch on the end of that row, do my slip stitch to join and turn it going back the other way. I'm going to work mine for a total of 14, I might even go 15 rounds to give it so that it comes down and makes sure that my ears are nice and snug and warm with this hat. So you work on yours at home and make as many rows as it makes it the right length for your head, and then we'll come back and we'll finish. Okay, so here we have about 14 rounds of the Suzette stitch that I've done. It's all straight up, and now we need to start to decrease so that we can bring this together and bring atop the crown of our hat together. So this time I'm not going to, I did crochet one, but I'm not going to turn my work. I'm just going to keep working the way I have. And I'm going to do a double crochet decrease, which means I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go in the first stitch, pull it through. I have 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, I'm going to pull through the first 2. Then I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into the next stitch, which is a double crochet. I'm going to pull it through. I have 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then I'm going to pull through the last, I guess there were 5 loops on my hook. So pull through the last 3. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, 2, and then through the 3. All the way around. And that will cut the number of stitches I have in that round in half, because I am decreasing with every stitch. Now, remember my Suzette stitch, I was doing 2 stitches in 1 stitch and skipping a stitch. Here I'm doing my decreases and I'm using every stitch. No skipping stitches. Still going all the way around. I'm about halfway around now, maybe a little more. And remember, if you need to have a better look at what I'm doing, you can always stop your video and rewind, or you can slow the speed down. It's the nice thing about having it on video. It gives you some control over what you're seeing. Getting there. Okay. I've got a few more to go here. Okay, I did that one wrong. I just did a double crochet instead of a double crochet decrease. So here we go. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. There we go. All right, and then I'm down here to my last one. I'm going to just do a double crochet in that last one. And I'm going to join to my first double crochet decrease with a slip stitch. Going to give myself a chain one, and I'm going to turn it around. I am going to turn this time. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to double crochet decrease in each stitch around. So, yarn over, do the first two. This is my second round of double crochet decreases. So we're going to cut those that number of stitches in half again, which is going to close our hole in the top of our hat pretty quickly. all the way around. Okay. Okay, and then back here to the front, I have that one stitch left over, so I'm just going to double crochet in that right here. I'm going to join to that first double crochet decrease. Let's get it right in there. Right one. Chain one, turn again, and here we go again. Double crochet decrease all the way around. Oops, forgot to yarn over there. If you make a mistake, you just go back and fix it. No big deal. That's what I like about crochet. It's easy to just go back and fix it and get on with things. All right, and we're back at the beginning again, I think. Oh, one more. I have one more to do. And this time around, we should have an even number of stitches, so we don't have to put in that extra stitch. We're just going to go ahead and join here in that first stitch. And it's getting kind of tight here. There we go. We're going to join. Oops. Okay. I did not want to yarn over. I want to make sure that I'm doing in the right spot. I'm going to join right there. Pull it up. Maybe. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Maybe I do need another double crochet in there. That should have come out even. All right, so now I'm going to join it. And now I'm going to finish off because I've got my hole pretty small there. So I'm going to finish off. Give myself a good long tail because I'm going to need to do some sewing here. Now I'm going to get my yarn needle, put my yarn through, thread it here, and I'm going to sew up this hole. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to put it through the front loop only, the one that's closest to me, and pull it through and do that all the way around each stitch. And I'm all the way around, and I'm going to pull that tight to close up that hole so that that keeps my head warm. Now I'm going to find my thing, make sure that I'm working. Now this is where I sewed those two pieces together, and I have a little ridge, a little seam here. It's on the inside of my hat, so I want that to be the inside of the wrong side of the hat. So I'm going to turn it inside out. And I'm going to pull my yarn in, where am I here? Into the middle so that I can tie off my thread. And I'm just going to stitch through here some more. Ends in, I'm going to make a knot so that it doesn't come untied, and then weave those ends in here so that they don't come out when it's washed. Just tuck them in like that. There's no real right or wrong way to do this as long as you keep them hidden on the inside. Go back a ways. Don't want that to come unraveled. Then I can cut that off. Not too tight. Yarn. I'm going to come down here. I have this other end. I'm going to weave that in. And my hat is finished. Just weave this in. I'm going to go up a ways. Go up. Go back down. I like to do it 3 times. Once up, once down, and then go back up for the 3rd time. And that should keep that from coming unraveled. Turn it right side out again, and there you have a warm fall hat to match the fall scarf that we made last month. Congratulations. Now the next couple of months we're going to have, this video airs in November. We're going to take December and January off for the holidays. And I'll see you again in February. Maybe we'll come up with some sort of a Valentine's Day thing, but I'll have some time, so maybe we can post it earlier in the month so you can make a Valentine's Day gift. So have a happy holiday season, whatever holidays you celebrate, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.